Welcome back to another episode of Local Search Tuesdays. This week, I've got another set of awesome tips to share. This time from the speakers and experts at Chiang Mai SEO. A few weeks ago, I flew to the other side of the planet to speak at Chiang Mai SEO in Chiang Mai, Thailand. Getting there was brutal. It took 2 days in each direction, but Thailand was amazing and the conference was stellar. As always, I took my camera and microphone and collected digital marketing tips from speakers and experts. I got some pretty incredible tips this time around. Check them out.
All right, so my biggest tip is understanding human nature and that we are not fast enough. So, big study done on leads. The number one takeaway is it's a 5-minute shot clock. If you're spending money to generate traffic and leads, but you don't have staff to answer every lead within 5 minutes, you're basically pouring your money into a leaky bucket. Luckily, AI is here. So there's voice AI, there's conversation AI, and we can ensure that every time a lead gets generated, that the AI is going to have that conversation instantly, tip the math in our favor, and turn way more of your traffic and your leads into actual conversations and conversions. So if you're not playing with AI yet, I would get into it now, because every business, just like at one time, realized they need a website, is going to realize over the next 2 years that they need AI agents to succeed.
My quick tip for you all is to fundamentally remember why you are completing the activity in your task list. If it does not create a commercial outcome, you shouldn't be doing it.
Leverage your offline for online in a sense of using your personal connections for links, using your print campaigns to actually make SEO happen, maybe introduce people to your keywords and then they search for you that way. So think of offline as your new superpower to boost online.
What's up, everyone? If you want to scale your backlink campaigns from just a few hundred to 7,000 a month, you have to really set clear expectations to your team, set up the right team structure, and follow through weekly and monthly. You're not going to be an SEO at this point. You're going to be a link manager who crushes it with her KPIs and keep the team accountable. Let me know if you have any questions.
Okay, so I have not exactly a tip, but a basic thing which a lot of local marketers miss. That when you are trying to rank for local SEO, it doesn't work if you are trying to rank for certain businesses beyond a certain miles. So in most of the cases, it is 10 miles. So if you have a business, for example, a dentist, and you are thinking that you're gonna rank for all of the city, it doesn't work. In some cases, it makes sense for if you are in a legal niche, but for most of the niches, lesser than 10 miles is what you should be going for. And of course, you can do a lot of geo-targeting and pages. But I think the one thing we should always remember, less than 10 miles is good.
So my tip for marketers who want to get better at their job is to read a book, which I think shaped me as a marketer. And it's the book called Contagious by Professor Jonah Berger. It explains how to create stuff that people would talk about, that would spread. And I think it's a great book that every marketer should read.
Hey, have you ever thought about predictability of your prompts? Just put in the same prompt a couple of times in ChatGPT, Claude, or whichever you're using, and check if the output is the same. If you never thought about it, then that means you're gambling, because it will give you a logical answer, but the goal here is to build prompts that are predictable, that will give you same results every single time. Otherwise, you will not get the answers that you are wishing for.
So my super tip of the day for me, how to make money with 404 pages. Yes, you can make a lot of money, huge money. Sometimes I can make close to 10,000 euros monthly with 404 pages. So in fact, how it works. You create a website, you go on a nice keyword, for example, let's go clairvoyance. When you be well indexed on clairvoyance, I create a fake 404 pages, but in fact it's a HTML pages who go like a layer on your actual pages. And on this 404 pages, I put a countdown. That's very important, 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 2 minutes. And the text like, oh, we apologize, our website is down now. But because you ping this page, the page will come back in 5 minutes, see the countdown. To apologize, we give you a voucher of 30 minutes of call on our system. And of course, there's a button, you can call straight. Usually the people, they feel they have a voucher only for themselves. On the short time, they have to use it. And you can use the same system, for example, for the shop, for free delivery. Let's go, you sell CBD. For 30 minutes, the delivery is free with this voucher. And usually, 80% of the people will use the voucher and so consume on your website. And that's only a fake 404 pages.
Everything is measurable and everything is solvable if you think about it the right way. And there's also this concept of there's a place that your competitors aren't. And so you can often get to where you need to go by going kind of in a path that's a little circular to go around, or like where your competition isn't looking at, but your consumers are. And so there's a lot of different ways where you can market, you can advertise that goes, maybe you can't compete directly, because a lot of people may not have unlimited time and unlimited resources and a limited budget, but you have other places where those bigger guys aren't really looking, and that's an opportunity. So it just takes a little outside the box thinking. What I like to focus on is I like to think about what are my what's my target audience doing on a day-to-day basis, because there might be a niche that they're all interested in, and it's not the direct path to where you would traditionally go, but you can market to them there. So kind of go to where they are, and there's often a way to get to those people just with a little outside the box thinking. It turns into a cheaper path, and also a path where you build trust in a different way and can bring people in without having to go directly against your competitors. And I think that's a great skill. If you can really focus and think about how to get there, you can be very, very successful.
Tip number one, if you want to up your marketing game, particularly if you're in the world of SEO, go where your customers are. I see all of my favorite SEOs always showing up at SEO event. And when you ask them, who are you working with? They're like, I work with plumbers. And I ask them, have you ever been at a plumbing event? And they say no. If you are only working with plumbers, you go to a plumbing event, you'll be the only person talking about SEO. If you want to win in business, go where your customers are.
To increase your brand awareness through video content, social media, you need a hook that's interesting to capture your audience attention. So learn how to do hooks for your videos. You can't just start talking to them. They don't care about that. Have a hook, a visual, audio, any kind of hook, start learning them and make better social media content that gets more than 500 views, okay? Do better.
Hi everybody, I was talking about video SEO and using videos to appear and get visibility and branding in the AI LLMs and stuff like that. And one of the tips that I suggested is that videos that do well in individual platforms kind of get picked up by Google and thus get picked up by all the other LLMs. It's a cascade effect. So you have to have videos that do well in the platforms where you put them. So in some cases you can start with the same content, but then you might want to vary it or break it up to fit the vibe of wherever you're posting it. So for instance, Instagram Reels have different expectations than TikTok videos and different expectations than YouTube Shorts. Not wildly different, but for instance, like YouTube, usually they expect a little bit more production value. TikTok, they expect a little bit less. Instagram kind of depends on what you're trying to sell. So make sure you're submitting and testing the different videos and the different platforms, and sometimes you may have to tweak your content to fit the platform that you're publishing in to make it more successful.
YouTube SEO is an amazing thing for you to get involved in. We as marketers have always focused on SEO, which is getting harder and harder and harder with algorithm updates and everything else that goes on. I feel that YouTube is more, it's easier to manipulate, and also I think more and more people are wanting bite-sized, short, sharp videos. And certainly from my perspective, I always say to people, try and build a personal brand. You get asked all the time, what should I do? What should I do? I don't think you'll go wrong building a personal brand, and I think YouTube is a hell of a lot easier, safer, and has a lot of volume on there. So I think YouTube's a kind of fairly, I know lots of people use it, but I think it's fairly underutilized, and I know a lot of marketers are not always comfortable talking on camera, but I think that's a nice tip there to go on your stuff.
Killer tips this time, right? That's all the time we have left for this week's episode, so you know what that means. Put your hand on the screen right here. We totally just high-fived because you learned something awesome. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next week for another episode of Local Search Tuesdays.